Hello folks, this is Chris, KY4CKP. Welcome to 10 Ways to Grow Your Club, Part 2. All right, folks. Well, the first thing we want to talk about in 10 Ways to Grow Your Club, Part 2, ways to get money for your club, to earn money for your club, is to set out a tip jar, set out a donation jar. We started doing this at various club events, our monthly meeting, and some of the other events that we have. You don't want to just grind on your club members to always give money and that kind of thing. But at the same time, we want to allow people to have an opportunity to donate even small amounts on the spur of the moment, maybe. So if you put out a tip jar, a donation jar, mention it the first 2 or 3 times you put it out for events, and then just make sure it's it's visible and kind of prominent at future events, and it just gives people an opportunity that if they've got $1 or $5 or something in their pocket, that they could drop it in there. And of course, it doesn't have to be a lot of money, but as we all know, every little bit helps when you're trying to fund projects and even just to fund the ongoing operations of your club. Like any club, we have electricity bills every month. We have two locations. We have the property rental, other things like that. We have these recurring bills, insurance for the activities the club does, and that kind of stuff. So give your members an opportunity to help when they can. Again, even when it's small amounts, every little bit helps. So that's going to be tip number 1 in the video. Set out a tip jar. All right, and our second item on the list this week, folks, is number 2 here. Hold a raffle. Every so often, as a club, we will purchase an item, handy talkie, whatever it is, and we'll hold a raffle. And we'll let all the club members know. Typically these are a little bit more targeted for kind of special events. We have something in particular we're trying to fund. As an example, one of the raffles we held was as we were working on the emergency communications trailer. We had some padding for the bench seats that were in there, and we had pads on there, but they were the covers were just sort of mismatched from where the pads had originally come from, and we wanted to get them redone in our sort of signature color, royal blue. So we held some fundraisers, a raffle, and said, hey, here's why we want some money from the club members. You always want to let them know what's going on, what the projects are, why are we asking for money, and in some of these cases, we'll hold a raffle. And you buy the item, you let everybody know what it is, and of course they can see it, take it to your club meetings or whatever, and say, okay, tickets are $5 each or $10 each or something. Of course, a single ticket is well below the cost of the item, but of course, the goal is to sell enough tickets to not only pay for the item so you recoup your money, but simply to make even a little bit of additional money for the club. So that's item number 2 on our list this week. Hold a raffle. All right, here we are on tip number 3, ways to earn money, get money for your club. One of the things we did in the past, which was really quite popular, and it's probably sort of past time to do this one again if we can come up with a good event or way to do it, is we held a dead pool. And in the generic sort of sense of what a dead pool is, it's simply trying to guess the date when an event is going to occur. People do this for when babies are due and things like that. And so the event that we had was one of our members had purchased a new radio, and we were selling dates off the calendar as to when that member was going to peel the protective film off the LCD on his radio. And so we just decided to make this an event, and he was going to be totally in charge of when he decided to do that. And so we started selling dates, and I believe it was $5 per day, and members could buy multiple days if they wanted. And so we just started selling the dates for that, and we just had a lot of fun with it. And the member had the radio, and was just going to see how long he could stand having that film on the cover, and we made, the club made a little bit of money off of that, and it was just kind of a fun way to do it. Every time we would see the member, we'd say, "Hey, have you peeled the thing off yet?" And he's like, "Nope, not yet." But he was honest, and when he finally peeled it off, he let us know, and then we checked to see who won. So, item number 3, hold a Deadpool. All right. Well, moving on to item number 4 on the list is getting donations from club members for very specific projects. We've done raffles for specific projects. We've done other things. But sometimes you just have a big project that's coming up. You need to replace a repeater, whatever the case is going to be. And one of our big projects that we did a nice video series on was our emergency communications trailer. And whether it was building out the interior of it, creating and making and putting in equipment for it. But one of the things we did, as we see here in the picture, is we got it wrapped. We had a nice custom wrap designed with our logo and website information and so forth, and took it in and got it wrapped. And of course, that's not particularly inexpensive, but we want to be able to, and we do, use this trailer and take this trailer out into the community for all kinds of community events, 6 or 8 or 10 a year, maybe even more these days. And so it's nice to have not only the trailer, but to have it set up and have this nice wrap on there. So that's one of the other things for your club is, again, we don't want to grind on our members as far as always asking for money, but when there are big events happening and sort of big needs for the club, then sure, we can say, hey, we've got this expensive thing going on, and we could use a little extra money. So that's number 4, project-specific donations. Well, we've made it halfway through the list, folks. We're at number 5. Number 5 is merchandise. Now, not every club has to do every one of the things on our list, certainly, and you may come up with other creative and clever ways to help earn and get money for your club and your club activities. This is one of the things we decided to do a few years ago, was to start creating some club merchandise, not only to sell to our club members, which we do, and we have shirts and hats and patches and things, but we're willing to sell these to anybody who may be interested. So this is one of the things we did. We had a nice logo created, and we had a nice format for the logo created that we can submit to companies and organizations whenever we need something. So creating some merchandise, even just if it's just starting out with some patches. We use our patches and a few other things as giveaways when we're doing public events. If we attend, the different ham fests throughout the year, we'll do some giveaways and things with those. So creating some merchandise, again, not necessarily just for your own club members, but for anybody who would like to buy something to help support the club. So that's tip number 5, merchandise. Moving into the top 5 at number 6, donations from local businesses. This is something that I'm sure gets overlooked by a lot of organizations, and it's unfortunate because many businesses, even big chain businesses, just to call out a few names, Walmart or Lowe's or grocery stores like Kroger or all kinds of organizations, but certainly your hometown organizations and so forth, are willing to support various causes. And really all you have to do is ask. Now, you're not going to get support from every single business or organization that you contact, But it never hurts to ask and let them know what your club does, what we're doing in the community, things like that, and what they could do to help. It doesn't have to be a tremendous amount of money or merchandise in kind, but even going to Lowe's or Home Depot or any other hardware store, we have maintenance that we need to do on things, and so we could probably always use paint or screws and nuts or whatever it is. So contact local businesses, try to get face to face with them if you can, and say, hey, here's what we could use, or see what they're willing to do. And again, every little bit helps. So that's number 6 on the list, donations from local businesses. Number 7 on our list, YouTube videos. Obviously, this is not going to be something every club is probably going to do. And if you are considering starting a YouTube channel and creating and posting YouTube videos like we did, certainly be aware that it takes some time for your channel to get big enough before you can start earning money from your videos. And of course, it's not really a lot of money, but it could be a source of income. We do earn a little bit of money each month from our YouTube channel. It's nothing extreme, but it helps keep the lights on, as they say. But also be aware it takes some time and effort to create the videos. And you need hopefully a couple of 3-4 people would be nice to be on board with this. Putting all of that on one person's shoulder is a lot, especially in the early days. If you're new to using video editing software, there's various packages out there. It's a lot. It can take a lot of time and effort to put videos together, and you're going to, of course, want to do so on a consistent and regular basis. But especially if you have some help, it can be a way that after you put some time and effort into it, it can generate at least a little bit of income for your club. And so that's item number 7 on our list, YouTube videos. Number 8 on our list is selling unneeded items for the club or that the club may actually own. It's not unusual, especially over time, that we accumulate extra and old equipment, and sometimes you can find buyers for these, whether it's through Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, eBay, local sales, Hamfest. There's really quite a number of avenues where you may be able to sell things, and certainly advertise anything the club has, whether it's equipment that the club has purchased directly or that may have been donated to the club, and let your members know, hey, we have these items for sale if anybody would like them. But then you've got those other avenues where you can sell things, and that can help generate some revenue for the club, either for a specific project or just every so often. Maybe set up at a Hamfest if the table cost is not too much. Usually they're pretty cheap, maybe $10 a table or something. But you've got those other avenues too, and sell some old equipment, and that can generate some revenue for your club. So just one of those things that is probably something that many of us may have done personally, and maybe your club has already done that for the club itself, but something to keep in mind that maybe occasionally the club can sell some older unneeded items. So that's item number 8 on our list, sell unneeded items. All right, that brings us to number 9 on our list, create a Patreon account for your club. Now, this is one of those things that we at LCARA thought about for really several years before we did this. And the research that I did on this recommended that you have a strong presence on one or more social media accounts before you start a Patreon. Now, it's not to say you can't start a Patreon account anytime you want to. It was just sort of recommended that you have a pretty strong presence. Really, they recommended, depending on on which social media it was, 10,000 current subscribers the more the better. But we didn't wait quite until we had 10,000, but we waited until we had, I think it was well over 6,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. So this is something to consider for the club, whether or not you might want to create a Patreon account. It can be a good way to communicate and connect with your audience, and also, again, allow your audience to have a pretty easy way to help contribute to your projects and things. There are usually people out there who enjoy the videos and enjoy whatever you're doing and would like to support you. It may not always be a large amount of support, and that's fine. We say it time and time again, every little bit helps. So that's item number 9 on our list. We're almost to the end, and that is create a Patreon account. All right, folks, that brings us to the top of the list. Item number 10, and this is maybe one of the most obvious things, but maybe it's not for some clubs, but that is club dues. Club dues. I've heard of clubs that, for various reasons, don't have any dues at all, and that's a club choice. Whether you want to have dues at all, maybe you're a new club, maybe you're smaller, and as a way to help entice people, you started out not having any club dues. Again, that's a club choice, whether you choose to do that or not. Here at LCARA, we do have club dues. It's not a whole lot. It's $25 a year for a person to join our club. That's not a whole lot of money, but it does bring in a little bit of money for the club, and of course that is used towards club expenses and things and club projects, just like anything else. Again, there's electric bills and other things that the club has to take care of. So club dues, if you belong to a club and you don't charge dues at all, and you may have very good reasons for that. Again, that's certainly a sort of personal decision for each and every club. But it's also something you might revisit. Maybe there was a good reason for that in the beginning, but maybe it's time to charge a small amount. And of course, talk it over with your club members, and let them know what their thinking is, why the club could use some income, and hopefully, certainly, most of them would agree. Hey, a small yearly club due, is not really out of the question. Sort of a onerous, type of monetary issue for the members. So that's number 10 on our list. Club dues may not bring in a lot of money every year, but it does help pay for some of the ongoing expenses for our club. So club dues, number 10 on the list. That's going to wrap this one up, folks. We're going to be continuing our series on how to grow a club with 8 more videos. This is number 2 in the series. And so we will see you folks in the next video. We release videos on Fridays, and Time Machine Tuesday, vintage videos on Tuesdays. But that'll wrap this one up. We'll see you in the next video. This is Chris, KY4CKP for Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association, 73.